Previously on Balls.
Great announcement there today.
Tell us about it while we Skype.
Well, Darren, basically South African, we're going to see a situation where South Africa return to the international road cycling calendar with the inaugural Mzanzi Tour taking place from the 17th to the 21st of April. It's a 5-day, 5-stage event, and I'll tell you what, this is big for cycling. The launch today was massive. 2.2 International Cycling Union, UCI grading. It'll host both South African and international teams.
All right. Malcolm, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
How's the game? Oh, how you doing, bud?
Yeah, good, and you?
All right, thanks. We're going to kill our camera. Have you got a camera on your Skype there?
I have, yes. Should we just take it off?
No, you can turn it on because it's not on at the moment. We're looking at your beautiful family's picture there and your...
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
That's the other good half.
So either we're going to spend the interview looking at your wife in a bikini or we're going to look at you.
The wife doesn't know where to get the camera all of a sudden.
Jackie.
and we do have a preference, Malcolm, and we're not going to share that with you, but it's your choice.
Well, I don't really have a choice at the moment. So.
All right. So if you can get that camera going, then we can have a look at you. But, we spoke to you when we were doing the live broadcast at the Brazen Head, and I think there was reference made to the Mzanzi Tour. Now it's all official.
Yes, it's all official. There's been a lot of work going into it. I think we've also been quite rushed to make this thing happen. So, I think it's a fantastic event that's going to happen. It's long overdue. I've come through the era of, the Report Tours and the Hansen Tours and the Boland Bank Tours and all that. So, it's long overdue, and I'm glad that we've been managed to put it together. And I've got a great team working with me, a lot of experienced people in different fields, and, it's definitely looking good.
As far as sponsorship and stuff like that goes, is that already well underway, and is there a lot of interest?
Yes, there is. Obviously, our partner is CATSETA, which is a government institution with regards to skills and development and tourism. So I think, from that side, we've also got a lot of work ahead of us with regards to getting into the communities. And I think that's the beauty of a cycling tour. It's not just about the racing, and it's actually reaching communities that don't ever get to see top-end sports, and for once they're going to see an international tour back on the calendar again.
Fantastic, that's awesome. UCI graded as well, so that's the other incentive for internationals to come out here and take part, and also just probably cycling in one of the most beautiful venues I'd ever want to cycle in the world.
Well, for sure. I think Lange's got a lot to offer. I think, again, we've got a lot of reciprocation from all the little communities as well, already starting to ask and wanting to get involved with the tour, which is great. So we really want the public and also the people in the communities to really get involved with the tour. We don't want to be this tour that no one can get involved with. We really want the communities and everyone to get involved with this Mzanzi Tour because it's long overdue, like I said. Yeah.
I remember back when I was a lightie, not a lightie, but I was younger. There was a tour in that part of the world where it took in White River, Sabi, Hazy View. What tour was that again? It was just the Eastern Transvaal in those days.
It was the Hansen Tour.
That's the one, yes.
I used to participate in that as well. So, we used to have 4 great tours, and I think that's what brought legends. With youngsters now, we need to aspire to legends, like we had the Alan van Heerdens and the Engelbrechts and all those guys. So, we need to bring that back so people can start to follow. Now, I've even had an experience where I've travelled through small little towns on the way to Cape Town in Beaufort West, and I've had a street guy come up to me and he actually wanted food, and I said, well, no problem, but what about cycling? Do you need names? And the guy rattled off about 5 professional cycling names. So it just shows you that it's got quite a reach, the sport.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think when we did speak to you, we were sort of talking about a tour that would take in, we could do a tour in this country that could basically be same duration as Tour de France, and you wouldn't struggle to actually get a really, really good testing route as well, because we've got such a vast array of mountainous versus flat sections through the Free State, and the mountainous sections in sections like the Eastern Transvaal, then down in the Cape as well. Is that a sort of a long-term goal to extend this tour into something like that, or are you going to pretty much keep it in that region?
No, that's the beauty of a tour. We want to move it all around South Africa. Obviously, in Mpumalanga's this year, we'll obviously try and bring the tour a little bit forward to February maybe next year, and then take the tour exactly like you say, 9-day stage race down, maybe even taking it right down to Cape Town or down to Durban. So every year we'll rotate it, and we'll get a bit of feedback after every tour and see where we need to target and what the objectives are of CATSETA and obviously us as the event organizers, and bring in some big sponsors that can obviously take this tour. To get to a pro tour status like Tour Down Under, it is possible, but the funding is massive. So we really want to start, walking before we start running. I think that's the biggest thing, and I think that's what happened in the last tour that we had. They didn't quite do their homework, and hopefully we're going to get it right this time.
Yeah, I didn't realize the Giro del Capo was gone.
Yeah, that's been off the calendar, I think, for 3 years now.
Wow. So, why? Was it just lack of interest, or what was the story? Funding?
I think it's a combination of both. I think the tour also never really grew. It stayed at one sort of event. And
it was overshadowed also by the Argus, I suppose.
Yes, a lot of the public didn't really know. And that's the thing about what we want to create out of this tour. We don't just want to target people who understand, the big teams in Europe. We want the teams to compete like South Africa against Australia, against China, all the different countries. It's nationalities that we want to get involved. I think South Africans like to watch that. It's almost like a test cricket. It's against the Aussies or against the Americans. And we want to bring that back before we start bringing in the big pro tour teams that a small market really knows.
I think you should call this tour the Giro del Strum. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
What kind of funding, just off the top of your head, Malcolm, do you need to put like an equivalent to a Tour Down Under, one of those accredited races in South Africa? Or how much cash do you need?
Well, just to put it in perspective, if we look at a pro tour event, which is a one-day event, that's just a straight-up one-day classic. It's in the region of 20 million rand. That's just on a one-day, to get the guys out. So when you're running a 6 to 9 day stage race, you can actually do the maths. It's massive figures. But when you're also showcasing your country and you start talking about television rights, go to that level, then it kind of all puts it into perspective. But like I said, we've got to start somewhere, and then we'll work hard on this too. We've got a commitment also from Casita for 3 years. It's not just a 1 year thing. It's got to go for at least 3 years, and by then we'll either get a renewal or we'll probably find another big sponsor that sees a lot of interest. Already people are talking about it.
That's good. And it will only grow. I mean, that's that's the key thing. I know that as we discussed last time, they try to get something going with another report tour type of thing, but there was just too much going around it, and it was like a one-off thing. Not surprising that maybe it didn't carry on, but this looks like it's you guys are starting it on the right footing, the right basis, building it from there, and I've no doubt it's going to be generating lots of millions of rands in sponsorships and become a truly big event on our calendar, which I think is very welcome as well. So we wish you all the best for it. If you want more details, www.mzanzitour.co.za, right?
That's it, correct, yeah.
All right, cool. So you can find all the details there as things develop. And international interest at the moment, can you confirm teams, people coming through at this stage?
Yes, we have got Rafa Condor, which is a big British team. We've got La Pomme, which is a French team that's committed. We've got obviously the local teams, from obviously Team Bonitas. We've got MTN Quebecer that's come on board. We've got Westval. We've got Tassel. We'll have probably 13 teams in total. So we're obviously still negotiating with some of the teams, but we're looking at having about 5 European teams and then 5 African teams. So we're looking at Eritrea. We're looking at a mixture of African riders within one team. Yeah. We've got Nippo, which is a Japanese team, which has got a combination of 5 different nationalities. We're really focusing on getting the countries to represent in South Africa.
Malcolm, before you go, I just wanted to ask you, I saw Robbie Hunter's response to some comments that you'd made. I know you wrote an open letter. I don't know if you saw it. I'm sure you did. Did you ever respond to that, the letter and the criticisms that he made?
No, I didn't. I think it was, I think an email or a phone call could have been suffice, but I haven't responded to it. I think I've had my say with writing my book, which came out in November. When I experienced Europe, it was the time between 92 to 98. Robert only went into Europe around about the 98, 99 session. So things were completely different to what he saw, to what I saw. And no, I haven't responded. I don't feel there's any need to respond to it. I'm not going to get into a boxing match. I had my say, and I respect everything that Robert's done. I think he's been a true ambassador for the country. He's a great cyclist. I've always said it. He's as tough as nails, and he's stuck it out in Europe, and well done to him.
Malcolm, just finally, I really enjoyed reading your book.
This is your fourth finally, by the way.
Yeah, where can one actually get hold of a copy of your book? It's really great reading.
Thanks, John. It's actually on our website, Team Bonitas. So it's www.teambonitas. You can get it on that, or Lange Sports, LangeSports.co.za. And also at any cycle lab. I know the one in Four Ways and down in Cape Town do stock it, and it's a hard copy that's come out now as well. So, yeah, the feedback's been great. I think once this tour is over, I really want to do a bit of a roadshow and get it out there, because it's a decent product. Amongst all the bad publicity we've had, I think it's something that can be quite taken to the youngsters. That's
Positive.
Yeah, it is positive, yeah. Well, I want to stay away from the word positive. But,
Yes, definitely. Well, listen, keep us posted, and we'd love to, as I say, go along on this journey with you as well. So, just on the subject of Rob, obviously he's a big friend of ours here at Balls Radio. Speak to him quite often. I mean, are the chances of someone like him taking part in this event? I mean, does it suit the international calendar that we might see a Chris Froome riding in this event at some stage? People like that?
Definitely. I mean, that's the idea. Obviously, we got to start. UCI only lets us cater as a 2.2 categorized race, which means we can't have Pro Tour riders just yet. But when we get to 2.1, we can start to have Pro Continental riders and maybe one or two Pro Tour riders. So we'd love to see that. If the time frame's right, yes, but then also the funding. It really comes down to how we get the sponsors to understand what we're trying to create out of this tour. I think it's not just about cycling. Like I said, we want to reach a community's skills development, get people to get jobs out of this tour. Basically showcase what we're doing and teach people how to put events on. So there's a lot that a tour can benefit society, actually. So yes, I'd love to see Chris and those guys competing. I'm sure they would like to, because they've actually endorsed the event and wishing us good luck that it's a successful event.
Awesome stuff. Wish you all the best. Well done for everything you guys have put together up to now. We're really glad that this is now a reality, and we'll watch closely the developments as we get closer and closer to the big first one, the Mzanzi Tour here in South Africa. It's great to have road cycling and an event like that back on our calendar again. Well done, Malcolm, and all the best to everyone involved.
Yep, thanks very much, Darren. I'm sorry about the picture, but I think it was a bit more attractive than me. So.
Don't apologize for the picture as well. Yeah, Jackie, thanks very much. It feels like we've been talking to you this whole time.
Not yet, no, but thanks.
Thanks, Malcolm. We'll chat to you soon. Okay, bud.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, man. Bye-bye. There we go. That's Malcolm Lange joining us on Skype from his home with his family, talking about that tour, the Mzanzi Tour.
This is Balls Visual Radio. Darren, Simon, Kate and John. Weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central African Time. Balls.co.za